What if I told you that steak or salmon could work like Ozempic, but without the side effects? In fact, what if I told you they actually had side benefits? Big Pharma doesn't want you to know this, but protein might be nature's ultimate appetite hack. Let's expose the truths. Now, whether you're on Ozempic or some of those other weight loss drugs, or you're looking for how to titrate off it or lower the dose, or you just would love to get control of your appetite or cravings, I got you. This video is for you. If you're wanting more on metabolism, metabolic health, and powerful aging, be sure to subscribe on my channel because that is what I'm all about. I'm kind of obsessed with it. All right, I'm sure you've heard about Ozempic's dark side, that extreme hunger drop, which causes rapid weight loss, which of course might sound great until you discover that 40% or more of this can come from lean mass, especially skeletal muscle mass. And what happens when you do that is you devastate your metabolism. And then when you go off, guess what you gain back? Fat, which is why you end up in a really big metabolic hole. You see, you actually don't want to shut off your hunger altogether. You just want to get some control over it. You want to rein it in. And that's where protein comes in. Protein's superpower is threefold for how it controls hunger. First of all, it slashes the hunger hormone ghrelin for 3+ hours. This helps you slow down stomach emptying so that you can feel fuller longer. Now, in a bit, I'm going to share the magic ingredient that you can pair with protein that's just going to amplify the effect of ghrelin. By the way, protein impacts more than just ghrelin. Protein also helps maintain healthy leptin levels, and this can help signal fullness to the brain. Now, this doesn't happen right away because unlike ghrelin, leptin is more influenced by body fat than short-term meals. But protein's fat loss effects over time can help improve leptin sensitivity. And then there's another hormone called PYY, and protein sharply increases PYY. This is a hormone that slows digestion and also helps promote fullness. Obese individuals often have blunted PYY responses, but a high protein diet can bring this back to normal. Plus, protein provides those essential amino acids that you need to make neurotransmitters from, including dopamine and serotonin. Now, dopamine and serotonin are super important both for appetite and cravings. And just think about it. When you eat a big steak and then the dessert cart comes, you're like, I'm full. I don't want that. And it's not just that you're full, you just don't have those cravings. So protein is more satiating than fat or carbs. And it also supports your overall metabolism. And it does this in two critical ways. And these two critical ways can make all of the difference in your long-term success. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But I want to also give you the Ozempic mimicking protein protocol because this is going to set you up for success. First of all, you're going to be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of your target or ideal body weight. You want to do this every single day. Now, I even push this a little bit more with caloric restriction because I want to ensure that you can hold on to your muscle as you're losing fat and make sure that you're getting in at least 40 grams of protein in your bumper meals. Those are your first and your last meals of the day. And why I want you to make sure you're doing that is I want to make sure you're turning on your metabolic furnace in the morning and shutting down those cravings. When you eat in the morning, you're really setting the metabolic tone for the day. And then in the evening, I want you to do it because I want you to shut the refrigerator, right? So we're stopping those evening fridge raids when you eat your protein at 40 grams or more in the evening. Now, next up, grab yourself some clean, lean animal sources so that you're getting the most digestible and bioavailable sources with the best amino acid profile. So think of things like grass-fed, grass-finished lean beef. I especially love this because it is rich in a fatty acid called CLA, and this has been shown to actually help you drop belly fat. It's also rich in omega-3s, which are anti-inflammatory. And of course, grass-fed, grass-finished beef is nutrient dense. Think iron, think B12, think great minerals. And then I love wild salmon. Also has those great omega-3s, which are anti-inflammatory, has great gut healing properties, and rich in antioxidants. Now, you are what you eat, so be sure to choose clean, lean sources to avoid the toxins that could be in those factory farmed animals. Now, if you're trying to get all of your protein from minimally processed plant-based ingredients. This is likely going to push you over the carb and fat levels you need to be able to be at in order to lose body fat. Because just to get 40 grams of protein, you'd have to eat more than 2 cups of lentils. That's over 500 calories. Or 5 cups of quinoa. That's over 1,100 calories. And by the way, that's not even getting in the balance of essential amino acids that you need. And that's also not getting in the 150 grams or more of protein you need, let's say if you're a 150 gram person. So you can see how quickly the calories and the carbs add up before you even come close to your protein targets. Now, there is a role for these foods, and that's part of that magic formula I talked about earlier. I want you to pair your clean, lean protein with fiber. It's the perfect protocol as both of these work together to support the release of GLP-1. Plus, you get bonus points for fiber because fiber is so important for your microbiome. And you gotta have a healthy microbiome to produce GLP-1. Plus, of course, we know that fiber is really important for blood sugar stability. So think chicken thighs and lentils or salmon and quinoa for the win. And I want you to hit in fiber at least 30 grams or more a day. You'll be able to find out if you're doing this because you're going to be tracking on an app, right? And I love the Cronometer app because I'll be able to track how much protein I'm eating and I'll be able to track how much fiber I'm eating. And be sure that you're using a food scale so you'll know exactly how much you're getting. Do not try to eyeball it. We are notoriously bad at that. Now be sure to stay to the end of this video, because I'm going to share how you can get my exact protocol to get started the right way with the best protein choices and what else you can combine the protein with to create, again, this magic combo that I just talked about. So I mentioned that there was even more that protein can do for your metabolism beyond helping with hunger and cravings. Protein is the most thermic of the 3 macronutrients. And if you've listened to any of my videos, you've heard me talk about the thermic effect of food. It's part of what impacts your daily energy expenditure. Protein takes about 25% of its calories to be digested and assimilated on the body. Now, carbohydrates, it's only 5 or 10%. And fat's pretty close to 0. So if you want to boost your overall caloric expenditure, boost your protein up. You know, it's interesting. Bill Campbell, Dr. Bill Campbell, who runs a physique lab here in Tampa at the University of South Florida, he has found that when you eat more protein, you lose more fat. Also, higher protein intakes help you maintain, or better yet, build skeletal muscle. And remember, muscle helps your metabolism. Muscle helps with insulin sensitivity. That's why I call muscle your metabolic Spanx, because when you have more muscle, you're going to burn more calories all day long. And it also supports better metabolic flexibility and better fat burning. The other thing that muscle is a sugar sponge. When you're eating those carbohydrates with the magic formula, it's going to give those carbohydrates a place to land in your muscles rather than getting converted to fat and getting stored on your belly. The reality is, and you know this, you do not build muscle by eating protein and sitting on the couch. You have to add in resistance training as well. This is going to ensure that you maintain and ideally you build muscle while you're losing fat. This is a process known as recomping. Now, something else that can help you here is my product SHEatine. This is a non-bloating form of creatine that I put together with magnesium and taurine to help you work out harder and recover better. So protein, fiber, SHEatine, all of this combined, plus resistance training, ensures that you don't suffer the fate of most of these Ozempic users with those higher big pharma doses that lead to muscle loss and metabolic crashing. Not on my watch. So here's your plan. We talked resistance training. What I want you to do is lift heavy 3 times a week. Big compound moves, things like squats and push-ups, bent over rows, and overhead presses. Make sure you're getting in that protein. Remember, it's 40 grams at your bumper meals, breakfast and dinner, and at least 1 gram per pound of target body weight overall. And add that fiber in too. 30 plus grams a day to both support that GLP-1 raising and help your gut microbiome. Okay, so here's why Big Pharma hates this. There was a 2025 study that found that protein shakes alone beat Ozempic for fat loss. 9 kilograms versus 5 kilograms. And here's the real kicker. The shake users kept 80% more muscle. Yes, you heard me right. Now, I promised I had something special for you, my Eat Protein First Challenge. And I've linked it in the description below. And I've also added a video here on the screen that I think you're going to enjoy. Now, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next video.